Okay, this is in class exercise 6-1. For this exercise, we are going to find the spot elevations along a length of pipe and determine the depth of soil covering the pipes. So we got to calculate the missing slope. We have a slope for this pipe. This pipe here has a missing slope. This is a 15-inch diameter pipe, 18-inch diameter pipe. Maintain a minimum depth of 2 feet of cover over the pipe. So that means they need to be buried 2 feet. We have to have 2 feet of soil over the pipe. Provide invert out at the catch basin and at the end of the culvert and top of wall elevation. Freeboard is 6 inches above the stream elevations. Freeboard is simply, this is a stream elevation. The bottom of this pipe has to be 6 inches above the stream, the elevation of the stream, and that prevents water from backing up and getting surcharge into the pipe. So in your book, page 137, they talk about that. They say in order to maintain a positive flow and prevent surcharge, make sure that the invert elevation out of the pipe is at least 6 inches above the high water mark for the stream and channel. So that's what they're talking about there. And then for the invert elevations, this invert elevation in and out, the way you calculate the invert elevations for pipe, invert is simply the bottom of the pipe. Invert in is the pipe coming in. Invert out is the elevation, bottom elevation of the pipe going out. So this in your book is actually incorrect. This is 8 inches, your pipe's 8 inches, and this pipe is 1 foot 3 inches, so that would be the same as 15 inches, right? Because 1 foot is 12 inches, plus 3 more is 15. 15 inches. The way you calculate the invert elevation out, the pipes come in, and the elevation, I drew this dashed line right here, just showing that the top of the pipes are at the same elevation. The bottoms of the pipe are offset depending on the diameter of pipe. So you would simply subtract 15 inches from 8 inches, and you would get 7 inches. So this is 7 inches lower than this elevation. So just subtract 7 inches. So 45.33 minus 7, oops, not 7. 7 inches, you got to convert it to feet, right? So you go 7 divided by 12 equals 0.58. 0.58 feet. That's how much 7 inches is. This is incorrect here in the book. See this? This is 15 inches minus 8 inches equals 7 inches. They say 6 inches here. And that's a mistake. It's 7 inches. 7 inches is the same as 0.58 feet, right? 6 inches would be 0.5 feet. 7 inches, 0.58. So let's subtract 0.58 from that elevation. 45.33 minus 0.58. You get 44.75, which is what they have right there. So that's how you get your invert out elevation. So with that said, let's go ahead and do this assignment. Invert out, we said that it's 6 inches. The invert out has to be 6 inches above the stream. That's this freeboard up here. So 6 inches is half a foot. So that would put this at 79.0 feet. We just simply added a half foot of freeboard. The top of wall, to get the top of wall, we have a pipe, right? And then we have to have 2 feet of cover, 2 feet of dirt, right? Before you get to the ground above it. So this pipe, we have this elevation right here, right? The bottom, the invert out. We got to add, it's an 18-inch pipe, so we got to add 18 inches, which is 1.5 feet, right, for the diameter of the pipe. Then we got to add 2 feet of soil on top, so plus another 2 feet. That's 3.5 feet. So add 3.5 to 79, and you get 82.5. Right? Let me instead of having to calculate anything. So this is, whoops, 82.5. I simply added Oh, you can't see my calculations. Shoot. What I was showing you was a pipe. The pipe is 18 inches, and this is the bottom of the pipe. And then, so we need 18 inches, plus we need another 2 feet of cover to the top of the ground. So 2 feet plus 18 inches, which is 18 inches, 1.5 feet. So you get a total 3.5 feet with the pipe and the cover. Add that 3.5 feet to 79, and you get 82.5 for the top of your wall. Then we go up here to the invert in and invert out. We know that this is a 15-inch pipe and this is an 18-inch pipe. And we talked about basically the top of the pipes are the same elevation, the inverts are offset. And this pipe is 3 inches bigger than this pipe. And the reason this pipe is bigger is because this pipe here has water coming in here, and then this pipe has this water, and it also has the water coming through the grate. So there's more water going through this pipe, so it's got to be a bigger pipe. So the invert out, if the invert in is 81.2 and there's 3 inches of difference, you got to subtract 3 inches from this to get the invert out. 3 inches is the same as 3 divided by 12, 0.25 feet. So just subtract 0.25 feet from this. That's 3 inches, right? 18 minus 15, 3 inches, 0.25 feet. We subtract that from 81.2. 81.2 minus 0.25 equals 80.95. So just write 80.95 right there for your. So now we've got those. We've got this. Now we've got invert out, so the pipe coming out, and we've got the invert out, the bottom of the pipe here. It's 79, so 80.95. We can calculate the slope because we know the horizontal distance and we know the elevation difference. So 80.95 minus 79, 1.95 feet, right? So 80.95 minus 79 equals 1.95 feet. So this drops from here to here 1.95 feet, and the total distance, if we scale it off at, this is 20 scale, total distance, if you measure it, comes out to 65 feet. So total of 65 feet, we're trying to find the slope. Slope equals horizontal times vertical. We said the horizontal is 65 feet. We're going to multiply it by the vertical, which we said was 1.95. 1.95 equals 65 times 1.95 equals, oops, what am I trying to get? I'm trying to get the slope. Slope equals, horizontal. Oh, sorry about that. All these calculations floating around. So slope equals vertical. Let's see. Get my pencil to work here. Come on, there we go. Slope equals vertical divided by horizontal. Hopefully you guys caught that. I was just testing you. So vertical is 1.95. 1.95, and we got to divide that by the horizontal that we said was 65 feet. We measured, right, 65 feet, and that equals 1.95 divided by 65, 0.3. 0.03. So 3%, so we can write 0.03 right there. That's your slope. Now we can calculate what the invert elevation of our pipe is at these locations, because we know what the existing soil is, right? Existing grade is 84 right here, so if we check the invert elevation of the pipe right here, then we can determine if we have enough coverage over this pipe. So how we do that is we simply measure from here to here. So then we'll have the horizontal, which is 20 feet. So it's 20 feet. I'm just going to put this here. From here to here, that's 20 feet from there to there. And we know what the slope is, right? 3%. We just don't know what the vertical is. So we said vertical equals, now vertical equals horizontal times slope. Got the right calculation there. So horizontal is 20 feet. Slope is 0.03. So 20 times 0.03 equals 0.6 feet. 0.6 feet, so that's our vertical. So it drops from this elevation to here 0.6 feet. So 80.95 minus 0.6 equals 80.35. So the elevation right here is 80.35. That's the invert elevation of the pipe right there. So how much coverage do we have over the pipe? Well, we know that the pipe is 18 inches, so 1.5 feet. So we got to, from the bottom of the pipe, we got to add that to get to the top of the pipe. So I'm just going 80.35. I'm going to add 1.5 because that's the diameter of the pipe. 80.35 plus 1.5 equals 81.85. So that's 81.85. That gets us to the top of the pipe. Then we got to add 2 feet of soil. Did you get that? 80.35? 80. Oh no, we added so that's the top of the pipe. So we got to, if that's the top of the pipe, right? This is the bottom of the pipe. We added 1.5 feet for the diameter of the pipe. So 84 is the ground elevation right there at that point, right? You see the dashed line for the existing, and we're top of our pipes at 81. So let's go minus 81.85. What does that equal? 84 minus 81.5. Oops. 84 minus 81.85 equals 84 minus 81.85 equals 2.15. 2.15 feet of cover. So that's how much coverage, right? We have 84 is the existing grade, and our top of pipe is at 81.85. We have 2.15 feet of cover, so we have to maintain a minimum of 2 feet of cover, so we are fine there. Let's do the same thing here. You can either measure just from here to here, or what I want to do is just measure from here to here, like this. So from there to there. Doing the same thing. And that distance, if you measure it, is 50 feet. So this is 50 feet. So let's do the same thing here. Now we're going 50 feet at 3%. So we're trying to figure out what the vertical is. Vertical equals horizontal times slope. I don't need to write that down again. You guys know that by now. Plus we have it right here. Vertical equals horizontal times slope. So now we're going 50 feet at that same 0.03, and that equals 50 times 0.03 equals 1.5. So 1.5. So it drops 1.5 feet from here. The invert out is 80.95, so we got to subtract 1.5 from that. So 80.95 minus 1.5 equals 79.45. So the 79.45 is the bottom, the invert elevation of the pipe right here, because we took this distance times the slope, that gave us the vertical drop of 1.5, so we just subtracted 1.5 from 80.95. We got 79.5. Now we just got to add 1 foot, 1.5 feet for the diameter of the pipe. What's that give us? 79.45 plus 1.5 equals 80.95. Is that right? Yeah, 80.95. So 80.95, that is the top of the pipe. We added the bottom of the pipe plus the diameter equals top of pipe. So now let's subtract that number from 83 as our elevation of the soil. 83 minus 80.95 equals 83 minus 80.95 equals 2.05 feet of cover. So there you go. We need 2 feet of cover. We've got 2.05 feet of cover. So once again, we are fine with that one. Now we got to do the same thing up here. All we've got to do is take some measurements now from here to here, because we're going to check this. We're simply going, these spot elevations are simply where the existing contour lines cross, so that we can check and make sure we have sufficient cover. So from here to here, if you measure it with your scale, is 14 feet. So this is 14 feet. And let's go ahead and measure this one just so while we're at it. From here to here. Okay, so from here to here, that total distance is, if we scale it, 37 feet. So this is 37 feet. So now we can figure the elevation here, right? We've got 14 feet at 1% slope. So we're doing the vertical is horizontal times slope. So let's write it right. Where can I write this? I'll write it right up here so you can see this. So 14 feet times 0.01 equals 14 times 14 times 0.01 equals 1.96. 1.96. Write that a little bit better for you. Getting a little sloppy here. It's late in the day, getting tired. 1.96. So now we got to subtract, or not subtract now, right? We're going uphill, right? This sloping down. So we got to add to this invert in 81.2. We have to add 1.96 feet. So 80.95. Now we got to add 1.96. We're adding that, which makes it 82. Did I get 1 point? Let's see. 14 feet. 14 feet times 0.01 equals. Oh, what do I have? 14 times 0.01 equals 0.14. Where did I have 1.96? What am I doing here? So we're going 14 feet at 1% equals 0.14. 0.14 feet vertical, which we have to add to this invert in elevation, plus 81.2. Get 81.34. Yep, so 81.34. So this is 81.34. That's the invert elevation there. Now we have to add, the pipe is 15 inches, and 15 inches is the same as a foot and 3, so 15 inches divided by 12 equals 1.25. So we have to add 1.25 feet for the diameter of the pipe plus 81.34 equals. So the top of the pipe is at elevation 81 or 82.59. 82.59. Write that better too. 82.59. So I just added the bottom invert elevation of the pipe right there with the diameter of the pipe. I get 82.59. So now we just have to subtract 82.59 from 85 because that's the elevation there. So let's just go 85 minus 82. 85 minus 82.59 equals 2.41. Equals 2.41 feet of cover. So there's our cover. We only have to have 2 feet, so 2.41. We've got sufficient cover. So now we can move to the next one and check it. This is 37 feet at 1%. So we're going to do that same calculation, but now with 37 times 0.01, which is 37 feet horizontally, times the slope. We're doing this one right here. Trying to figure the vertical, which is horizontal, times slope. 37 times 0.01, 0.37. 0.37. Again, I'm measuring from here to here. So minus 0.37, we've got to subtract from, or no, we got to add it. We're going this direction, so we're going uphill, so we're going to add it. Add it to the invert in. So 81.2 plus 0.37 equals 81.57. So the invert elevation of the pipe right here is 81.57, and then we're going to add 1.25 feet for the diameter of the pipe, right? Because it's 15 inches, which is the same as 1.25 feet. That equals 81.57 plus 1.25, 82.82, 82.82 feet. So that is the top of your pipe, 82.82. So we've got to subtract, we're checking contour 86 is the existing grade. So we've got to subtract, so 86 minus 82.82 equals 86 minus 82.82 equals 3.18. 3.18. So we've got here 3.18 feet of cover. We took the elevation of the ground, the existing ground, minus the elevation, top elevation of the pipe, and we get 3 point, well above the 3 inch or the 2 feet of cover that we need. We got 3.18. So everything is good. We've checked everything to make sure we have the coverage. We found the rim elevations, the slope, the top of wall. That completes this exercise.